PR, public relations. This is the message that a company sends to the media to try to control the story, control the narrative, control the reputation, control the brand. While PR is something that can be very powerful, if you want to scale your business, you have to do marketing, you have to do PR. Yeah, you need your PR going, you need your social media campaigns going for your product and your brand, then you need your social media campaigns going for your personal branding. People are kind of trying to bypass PR and marketing by working with influencers. And I think it used to be very powerful for younger companies and established companies to figure out their PR, figure out their copywriting, personal branding, all of it, do all of it, and be consistent.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Modular Podcast. And today we are going to talk about PR. I'm Nestalia and we are having Michael now here with us. So Michael, I really want to know, what is PR?
Well, I come from a background of PR from corporate world back 10 years ago. PR, public relations. This is the message that a company sends to the media to try to control the story, control the narrative, control the reputation, control the brand. For centuries, companies have been working with the news media to basically to control the story about their product and their brand. And so PR is kind of the way the media and brands work together to share stories. Basically, news media, they have unlimited amount of stories that they need to share to get their subscribers, to get an audience, to sell advertising. Meanwhile, brands have an unlimited number of stories that they want to share. It's about new products launching, new hires, new technology. And so these two have could be a very symbiotic relationship. Could also be an ugly relationship when the media starts to make their own ideas or when the media tells the truth. So PR is the constant quest to control the narrative from a brand to the media.
So what's the difference between PR and the other sub-area of marketing? And what makes PR special?
Well, PR is something that can be very powerful. For example, if you have an article published in the New York Times, that's hundreds of millions of people that are going to learn about you, whether it's your brand story, your new product, your new technology. So PR is very powerful, and it's the easiest way. I won't say it's the easiest way, but it's the most scalable way to get your product or your brand message out there. The news media are doing the hard work for you by sharing it to their audiences, and they've spent years building audiences. So every marketing strategy has to include PR. It's one thing to produce content and entertain people and publish it on your social channels. But it's another thing when you can share a story with a news organization and then they do the heavy lifting for you.
So I want to ask if PR is like the main thing of marketing, or it have to go parallel with other area of marketing?
I think for some younger companies, PR is very important. PR is a way to have a footprint in the world, on the internet, in people's minds. It's a way to get started. And a lot of the great founders and CEOs, they are natural PR people. So if you look at Richard Branson, throughout his whole career, one of the reasons that he's so successful is because he's a natural PR guy. He was always doing crazy stuff to get in a newspaper. I mean, he was sailing across the Atlantic. He went into outer space. So he's a one-man PR department. And then people kept talking about Richard Branson. And then inevitably, they kept talking about Virgin companies and all of his companies. So I think that for when a founder has some kind of innate PR capabilities, it's huge. It's a huge help for the whole company. We encourage a lot of our clients to show their face in front of the camera, to do a podcast like what we're doing. We have developed an entire personal branding service for founders and CEOs. And so it's because the reason we've developed the service is because it's so important. And everything is easier once a founder has set up his personal branding. So all of this is kind of like a subset of traditional PR. We still do traditional PR for clients. We still write press releases where we need to find an interesting news angle and share it to the media, normally through PR News Wire. So that is kind of like the thing that you have to do, but don't stop there. After that, you need to augment your traditional press release with social media content, sharing stories about how your product is used, sharing your founder story, getting the founders on camera. All of this works together, and it can really make a lot of money for companies.
So does PR only talk about positive things?
Well, no. I mean, PR has to help out in a crisis. If you could remember when Samsung phones were catching on fire and blowing up, that is like the ultimate PR crisis that any company has ever faced. And so it's up to the PR team to then tell the story about, well, what are we doing to fix it? Are these phones all going to blow up or only this certain model? That's when the PR is so important, to tell the story to the news media. So PR is generally could be positive to share good stories, but the truth is people love to read the news because it's so negative and people are stuck and they're hooked on that. And so PR also has a place of helping companies handle their crisis management. That's very important.
So PR is morely like storytelling.
Yeah, it kind of, you could say it's, when we say storytelling, it's almost like it's fiction. It's not true. PR is not about creating things that are not true and sharing fictions. PR is about guiding the real story in one way, for example, in this way instead of this way. And so one of the things I've learned to do over the years is I've learned how to create a news angle for anything. I was lucky enough that I had to write press releases every day for a year about real boring stuff like a server, like a keyboard, like some kind of app upgrade. And so I actually loved this challenge because I would always sit at my desk and think about what is the cool, fun story I could tell here about this keyboard. And then, that for any writer, if you can talk about something boring in a fun way, that is like the difference between a mediocre writer and a good writer. So I developed those skills over the years, and now I'm able to apply it in the work we're doing here and helping clients tell the story.
Is it ever okay to lie to a media?
I don't lie to the media. I don't write false press releases about claims that are not true. I think this is a very dangerous, slippery slope. For example, in our industry, which is the tech industry, a lot of companies will release similar products at the same time, and some PR teams might inflate the specs or inflate the performance. What ends up happening is that people start to test the claims. There's all kinds of bloggers out there, guys who have a lot of free time, and they'll start testing this PC against this one and testing the claims all the time. And then what ends up happening is that if the company claims a certain performance and it doesn't get there, then that's much worse. Then that brand loses trust with the public, with the audience. So although it is tempting to inflate stories, make things sound a little bit better than they are, I never recommend that our clients do that. I rather find out what is a real story we can tell here. A product is never just a product. There's always who is using it, what was their pain point, what was their problem, how does this product solve the problem? Is this an isolated problem that a few people have? Is this a huge problem that a lot of people have across different countries? We should talk about those stories and then bring the product in there as a solution, rather than focusing on certain inflated specs or numbers that some people have tried to do before.
Oh, so PR is a really important thing. What happens if some company doesn't have a really good PR, or they're not doing PR at all?
Well, companies that don't do PR generally rely on advertising, or they rely on traditional marketing, like having a nice website, having a cool video. I think that these companies are leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing PR. The truth is, all you really need is a clever PR department or an agency to help tell the story of this product, of this company. Who is the founder? Why did they start? Why did they build these products the way they're built? I think answering the question why is always where PR starts. Companies that are not explaining to their customers why they do things the way they do, they're not able to build trust with customers. And so to not do PR is to basically leave money on the table by not letting your clients, customers, audiences trust you as a brand. So PR is an ongoing thing. It just has to keep going. And there's always new stories to tell. There's always world events going on that coincide with a product launch. COVID was a huge time for tech. So during COVID, the tech industry had a surge in demand for all products. And so there was a whole story that, the tech products were helping people to cope with COVID. Webcams were very popular in laptops and PCs. So if you don't do PR, you're really you're really at a disadvantage against those companies who are good at PR. Apple is very good. A lot of big companies have figured out great PR strategies where they're not only talking about products, but they're talking about lifestyles. They're talking about pain points. They're talking about their customer stories. And they're shifting away from this approach of just talking about products and what products can do.
So for new business owner, do you think PR is important for them to learn? And what kind of book they need to read? Do you have recommendation?
For a new business owner, so a lot of our clients, they're here in Taiwan and they're looking to go abroad and kick off their product launch in the West, in America, in Europe. PR is a great way for them to do that. What they really need to do is look at their product from the global perspective. How does this product relate to whatever people are going through in those regions? Once again, the king for me of PR as a founder is Richard Branson. I think every new business owner or founder should read his book called Losing My Virginity. And he talks about some of the crazy things that he's done and how he got his company on the map by doing those crazy things. But I don't recommend everybody to sail across the Atlantic. You don't have to do that. You just need to tell the right story and share it to the right people, and your new business, your new product will be on the map.
So the outlet gonna be news, media, article?
Yeah, normally news is spread through the news online, right? It could be a newspaper for a local community. It could be a big newspaper like New York Times. But not only that, there's also thousands, millions of blogs. Some blogs are very famous, very popular. So the blogs are another way. The second tier, I would say, are the blogs where you should share your stories, connect with the blog writers, send them the press release, send them the product photos. What you want is the blogs and the news working together, sharing the stories about what your product is doing, what your brand is doing, what's the innovation, how are you different, are you the world's first in anything is always a good headline. Some of our clients are innovators. They're doing very cool innovations in tech. So we will always share, this is the world's first whatever thing. If it's not the world's first, there's still a story you can tell. Mm-hmm. So it's just maybe about finding the problem they solved and how they solved it in a new way.
But I see a lot of brands, they say that they are the first, world first, or this country's first. Who knows?
No, well, there's ways to test. Yeah, so before you claim that you're the world's first at anything, you have to do research. You have to check the patents. Has this technology been patented before? Generally, if it hadn't been patented before, you can claim it's the world's first. What a lot of clients try to do, though, which is interesting, is they might combine two things that are not the world's first. For example, a certain camera lens combined with a certain speaker, that's the world's first when they're combined together. but alone, they're not the world's first. So I don't know if this is getting into a sort of manipulation.
But that is smart move.
Yeah, we do that. We do that often. So it can be like, for example, the world's first camera featuring this speaker.
Then in the future, it's gonna be words first, and then what, like 3 points.
Like 3 points, 6 points.
Gonna be like whole paragraph.
At a certain point, it doesn't make sense. Your message is diluted. I think that for innovations, everybody tries to be the first. That's great PR. That's great for sales. But I don't think it has to be only about having the world's first innovation. I think there's other stories. For example, did you use a previous innovation to solve a new problem? So PR is always looking for what's new, what's the news, right? That's why it's the news. Yep.
So the outlet is only two, blogs and news article?
No, of course not. PR outlets traditionally had been paper news, right? Then with the internet, online news plus paper news, then the blogs. So that's probably like your second tier. First tier would be the major news companies, then would be the big blogs that get like 1 million views a month. Then you have your social media accounts. So right now with social media, that is an excellent PR outlet, because whatever you're sharing in the news, somebody on social media will start to talk about it if it's a cool story. So for example, social media influencers, they're reading the news, they're sharing stories, they're sharing their own opinions about things. So when you release a press release, if your news angle is good enough, it'll trickle down from the news media to the blogs, to the social media accounts, including YouTube, even TikTok now. And then that trickles down to just people sitting around having a coffee and talking about what they saw, right? So word of mouth is also a kind of PR. And no one should ever underestimate word of mouth, because if people talk about something, people love to share things they saw online, that can generate tons of sales, tons of brand recognition. So I think the challenge for PR teams, the challenge for us as a PR and marketing agency, is to figure out what can we say that gets people to talk about this product or this company.
Oh, that's interesting. Is it any possibility that there is company that pay people to do the talk, like word of mouth?
Pay people to do word of mouth?
Yeah. Is there any company do that far?
Well, it's not scalable, because you can't find everybody. I mean, the only thing you can do is have a viral PR campaign, a viral video, a viral story, and the word of mouth will happen. I don't know about you, but people around me are always talking about crazy stuff they saw on the internet. So that's the goal with PR.
So what's the difference between PR and copywriting?
Yeah, copywriting is not the same as PR. Copywriting is the ability to very precisely talk about, let's say, a product, a brand, but it's not necessarily about sharing news. Copywriting could be sharing a feature in a way that could stick in someone's mind and make them buy something. So copywriting, to be a good PR writer, is not the same skill as being a good copywriter. Both of these are very important. Our clients pay a lot of money to us to do copywriting as well. And what we're doing with copywriting strategy is we are finding very specific ways to talk about a product when that product has already been copied by other competitors. And so what we need to do is figure out, well, what's the different way we can talk about this product, and how can we make someone who's reading that to be excited and to want to reach out and maybe buy that product. So copywriting is about being very precise in language and not talking too much about features and benefits, but talking about what someone can gain by buying this product, or what is the lifestyle that they can enjoy when they buy the product.
So what's the lifestyle? What's the result? What's the difference this product can bring?
Yeah, because the truth is humans are tribal creatures. We want to belong to a tribe. For hundreds of thousands of years, we lived in tribes. And this tribe was over here and they had their own lifestyle, and this other tribe was over there. And our entire identity and survival surrounds, are you part of the tribe or not? If you're not part of the tribe, they kick you out and you starve to death. So that's ingrained until now in our brains. With copywriting, this is the best chance to invite somebody into your tribe. So we try to get our clients to talk about lifestyles more and more. This is a subtle shift that's happening right now. There's enough features, benefits, content out there. But I want to know, what is the group I can belong to? What is the secret community I can belong to when I buy this product? Well, the truth is, if you're holding a Gucci bag, you're part of one community of, let's say, luxury collectors. And if you have another bag, if you bought the cheap bag, then, that's another tribe. You belong to a different tribe. So I think when women spend, not only women, but when people spend a lot of money on a luxury bag, what they're really paying for is not the bag. The bag costs $100 to make. What they're really paying for is the introduction, the ability to join a new tribe or community and be part of that community. And that happens through copywriting.
So can I say copywriting is the part of PR, or PR is part of copywriting?
No, these two things are actually different, but they belong together in one way, which is that it requires specific writing skills. I believe that if you are a good writer, you are a good PR writer, and you are a good copywriter, and you're a good novel writer. I think good writing follows the same set of principles. A lot of people who write, they might say something like, oh, I'm good at writing stories. I'm not good at writing nonfiction, or I'm not good at writing PRs. But I actually disagree with all of that. If you can bring writing down to its fundamental skill set, it's just about being precise, and it's about deleting all of the extra words so your message can be sharp and it can cut through. There's so much bad writing on the internet, not only on the internet, but there's so much bad writing, and all of that bad writing is just too much extra words, too many extra words. And so when there's too many extra words, the message is diluted, it's not strong, and the reader just loses interest or forgets very quickly. So PR and copywriting are very different, but they belong together in the sense that if you're a good writer, you can write PRs, press releases well, and you can do copywriting well. That's what I believe.
Oh, so it's like a skill.
Sure, it's a skill.
Okay, now let's go back to PR. For a company that is just starting and they have limited budget, how do you maximize it?
Well, interestingly enough, a lot of established companies also have a limited budget.
For PR?
For PR. It's just when those budget conversations happen, maybe they allot a certain amount to, travel and exhibitions and less to PR. The best way to maximize PR in a limited budget is to create that story that really hooks people, especially if you can combine it with current event or a real story being told. So the best way to maximize, I think, is to get published in a smaller blog or get published in a smaller news website. But the story is so interesting and so powerful that the bigger websites, the bigger blogs, the bigger news organizations pick up that story, and then it just spreads like fire. And so a lot of clever PR people are doing that. They're sending stories to smaller organizations, to small blogs. And then those big news companies are reading everything. They're reading all different blogs, and they're looking for stories to share. And so that's how a lot of small brands got started and then became very big brands.
But there are also like big companies that don't do marketing. They don't do advertising.
Big companies that don't do advertising?
Yeah, I read an article that says, oh, if your product is good, you don't need advertising, people will find you.
Oh,
do you
well,
believe that?
I don't believe that. I believe it's true to an extent. If you want to scale your business, you have to do marketing. You have to do PR. For example, you could imagine a leather wallet company in Italy. So there could be a family making wallets in the Italian Alps. And these are the best wallets in the world. And it's just maybe 3 or 4 guys spending all day sewing wallets together. But how far can they actually go if there's no marketing, if there's no PR, if nobody knows about them? The only people who know about them are the people who passed by the store, picked up a wallet. Maybe that person was a tourist, so he went back to New York City. He opened his wallet, shared his story to his friends. That can only take you so far. So you actually have to, even if your product is amazing, you still have to share to the world how amazing it is. So that's marketing and PR.
So we cannot skip PR and marketing.
Well, I think a lot of people try to skip PR or marketing, but they quickly realize that there's limitations and they hit a wall. I think a lot of times people are trying to do new things because, PRs can be expensive working with PR agencies. Marketing can be expensive, especially because you might need to hire a marketing team. So they'll just talk to influencers, and influencers are kind of the new PR. I mean, you get invited to talk about products all the time, right? Yeah, so I feel like people are kind of trying to bypass PR and marketing by working with influencers. And I think it used to be very powerful, but now it's getting harder and harder. There's too many influencers and the audiences are not always engaged. And so I think right now you still need to go back to traditional PR marketing, and you can also try influencer campaigns, and everything working together is the best way.
So the trends goes from traditional article writing and then KOL and influencer, and then now they go both ways. Is that true?
Yeah, now I think there's a saturation point where there's kind of too many influencers. If you start, for example, if you're a fan of one fitness guy, suddenly you'll discover there's like 100, 200, 500 other fitness influencers, and you might just follow them all. But then at a certain point, you're scrolling on your feed on Instagram and you're not becoming loyal to any certain influencer because you're following too many different guys or girls. At that point, whatever they're selling is not going to matter because you're just following everybody. And so I think there was a golden period for influencer marketing, which is probably 5 to 10 years ago. And right now, influencer marketing is just a small component of the entire marketing strategy, which has to be firing on all cylinders. But I do believe personal branding, or this idea of becoming an influencer, is still one of the strongest ways to do PR, which is a new type of PR, but it just takes a longer time, and it takes you have to be very focused on that this is your goal, that you're going to do personal branding. You're allotting time out of your month to do video content like what we're doing now. I think this is going to be the future.
So the trend now is going to be firing in all cylinders.
Yeah, you need your PR going. You need your social media campaigns going for your product and your brand. Then you need your social media campaigns going for your personal branding. Then you need your SEO, which we haven't talked about yet. So basically, this becomes a huge effort. And this is why agencies like us exist, because we handle pretty much all of that for our clients. What you get as a result should be better sales, loyal customers, increase in your profit margin, global reach. So once companies really start doing this in a consistent way, what they're seeing is brand loyalty. Even when there's a recession, even during COVID, they'll see their sales are still steady. And so it's very worthwhile for younger companies and established companies to figure out their PR, figure out their copywriting, personal branding, all of it, do all of it, and be consistent.
Oh, so PR is very crucial to make people believe in your product.
Yep, of course.
Can I say PR help people to believe on all of the advertising you make?
I guess you can say that as long as the news is sharing your story, people will believe it's true. They think the news is the news. It's not advertising. It's not a lie. If the news is sharing your product story, your brand story, then it definitely helps your advertising, because people will find that your advertising or your marketing is an extension of your PR story, which is the truth, so-called.
Thanks, Michael. I really learned a lot from this podcast.
Anytime. Let's do it again soon.
Sure. Thank you for watching us. See you next video.